Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Big Blue Base update, if I can actually point towards it, and I've already spoiled it, but if you haven't guessed by now, yes, I finally completed the whole wall around the mountain base, I guess you could call it, the mountain portion of the base that leads up here to this giant volcano. I finally completed like the whole wall section. So now, well, we could probably go back over here. We'll just start from the beginning. You can see just how big around, and this is just the top of the base. This isn't the rest of it. But we can see just how big this base really is, starting from maybe about here. And go. So here's the front. And boosting around here. And then we'll come around here. We'll go left. And here's the next side. In theory, it's square, so it should all be the same length, but not a guarantee. there are parts of this that I swear are longer than the others, and I don't know how it happened, and I don't really care that much because it's supposed to be a volcano, so there should be some inconsistencies anyways. But for the most part, this is about the length we're looking at. I can tell you that overall, the entire structure is about 200 by 200 blocks. And making this wall took a very long time, especially this one. It's probably over like 30 levels. And by levels, I mean steps, which I guess you should say steps too. It's about like at least 30 steps from the bottom to the top, maybe even 35. But anyway, so I finished that, which means now I can finally move on from just making this giant wall section over here and focus on other things like, working on the inside, as well as working on this other section that we'll go ahead and boost our way over to show you what I mean. It's gonna take a while. In fact, I'll be back in a minute when I get over there. The other project I'm working on that apparently is now magically in a swampwood area, because when I started, this place was just like a grasslands, but suddenly I guess an update happened and now I'm magically in a swampland. I don't know how that happened. But either way, this is basically another base that's 100 by 100 blocks. And what it's going to be is basically a facade building that's going to claim it's an event center for things like, concerts, sporting events, monster truck rallies, maybe even like big theater plays, event center that, a lot of people come to see all these wonderful things. When in reality, it's just going to be a facade building. The only part I'm actually going to be working on from here on out is just making these walls in the ceiling, and then that's going to be it. Everything else inside, I don't care what happens to it, because it's not going to be important, because in reality, I'm going to be working on something underneath that's going to become ultimately an entity of an SPC priority that I'm working on. So, you know how like SPC has like SPC 001, SPC 1000, SPC 5000, has all these numbers. It's going to be like that, except instead of calling it SPC, I call it COT, which means contain or terminate. Like I said, the whole thing's just going to be a parody of the SPC Foundation. But it's still a big project I'm working on. And there's actually one more, but I actually would have to load it up, and I only have 3 worlds I can load up at one time. But basically, it's another entity, but it's going to be this huge mega mall that's going to be 1,000 blocks long by, I think, like 50 blocks wide. So it's going to be pretty big, too. And let me give actual dimensions of the other project I'm working on. But basically, it'll be 50 blocks wide by 1,000 blocks long by 200 blocks high. So, and it's gonna take me forever to make too. I mean, I'm not in a rush to make that one. And like I said, I would load it up, but then in order to load it up, I'd have to load up another world, and it's really not. This was supposed to be a short, quick video, anyways. But long story short, now that I finished up the walls over on the Big Blue base, it gives me more time to work on this on the inside, as well as finally, like, get back to survival. I really would like to have at least one world where it's just like regular survival that I'm not doing for the channel. I haven't done that in so long because I've been working on just, making the big blue base. It's taken me so long to do. You know, granted, I've only been working like, you know, maybe an hour or two at a time on one day out of the week, but, you know, I got other stuff I need to do besides that. But still, I finally made that progress. So, and I probably won't make any progress for, or I probably won't make, okay, I probably won't make any update videos for a long time after this. Could be a year or more, because I don't really know what I'm doing. Before, when I was making, you know, when I was making the initial base, it was just making, okay, I got to make the outside walls, and then I got to make the floors, and then I got to make, you know, the volcano on top. Then I got to make the walls going around the whole building. And, you know, I had a solid idea of what I'm doing at that point. Now, I don't really know. All I know is I'm making an office and like one level in office areas, and the levels underneath that are just going to be experimentations. And I really don't know how to do that. So, since I don't have a clear objective on how I'm going to do that, I'm going to kind of be experimenting. It might be a couple of years before I do any more update videos like this. Maybe next time I'll actually write it out too, what I'm trying to say. And I think I actually might have done that in previous update videos, where I've actually like written out what I was going to say and then I said it. But whatever, I'll make that note for next time. But either way, that's all I got for this update video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the future as far as Minecraft goes. See you then.